Hello, this is Dr. Myra Salcedo at the University of Texas of the Permian Basin, and I am speaking to my graduate course, Selected Topics, also known as the Rhetoric of Religion, Teaching, Not Preaching. So, we are involved in a discussion board that is very contested, as it deals with the most contested issue of the day, if you ask me, and that would be religion. Because religion is everywhere. It's enmeshed with politics. You can't almost separate any issue from it in Congress, with our president, with anybody. Their religion is serious. And we have different beliefs. We have Christianity, evangelical Christianity, all of the different phases of Christianity, Catholicism, and even Islam. So, what do you do when you're teaching in a classroom and religion comes up in the classroom? That's part of what this class is about. Also, I am challenging the students to expand your minds. Look into other areas of people, especially the non-believers, and see what they are saying. And then there are scientists, there are theologians that are the opposite, and I'm not quite the opposite, but there are believers, non-believers, and so much to deal with in a single classroom, and you're a single teacher. So this is what I'm trying to help you with. And I introduced the book Critics Not Caretakers by Russell T. McCutcheon. He is brilliant. He comes from a base of inquiry, which means questioning everything. It means if you know your belief, can you answer questions about it? That's basically what it means. Just quoting a Bible verse does not resolve an issue. You have to know what it means. You cannot take things piecemeal from the Bible and say we still should stone people. We should sacrifice goats. I read a lot of the Old Testament a couple times in graduate school, and there was more sacrificing of goats than I could ever believe, especially the most white goats that had no blemishes, no freckles, no nothing. The more white they were, the more pure they were. So it was interesting reading the First Testament. And you have to know why you believe what you believe. And coming to the university does not necessarily mean you're going to lose your faith. You're going to learn about philosophy, believers, non-believers, and you're also going to be able to bolster your own faith, provide evidence. That's what it's all about. Providing evidence for what you believe or don't believe, and rationales. That's not a hard thing to do when you learn how to write an argument. But in this class, I introduced McCutcheon. And his book not only is Critics Not Caretakers, it's redescribing the public study of religion. It's how do we live in religion? How do we describe it? I called him on the phone once as a graduate student in great desperation, trying to understand a passage that he wrote. And I said, just explain this to me about religion being secular, the terms for sacred, and how sacred could be a definition in miniature. A word or a term could be a definition in miniature. Words like sacred, holy, and pilgrimage. He said, okay, He said, "What do you mean by religion?" And I said, "What?" He said, "Can you define for me what religion is? Can you define this? Can you define that?" And we went through everything I asked, and I started defining things. And every question I asked, he threw back at me, kind of like a psychiatrist saying, you ask a question, they ask you the same question. And after 40 minutes, I wasn't sure what I knew, but he asked me more than what I knew. So he made me go on and look up things and start making decisions. And that's what a good teacher does. They don't give you the answers. They direct you to the answers, but make you find them out for yourselves. Nobody likes that. I didn't like that. I was, on deadline for a paper I was writing. It's like, are you going to make me do more research? And the answer is yes. You have to research this. You have to understand it. And so I have this discussion board going, which is really tremendous, with 5 people in the class. Ann Kroger, a student in this class, invited me to jump into the discussion board. Even better, as an undergraduate student, she tracked down Russell T. McCutcheon, asked him questions, and I can tell you, Ann, I don't think he answered your questions any better than he answered mine. It makes you have to research more. But I am telling you that I have thrown in a doctoral level text into a graduate course for a master's degree rather than for a PhD. So I hope this makes you reconsider things and think about things. You don't have to understand everything that he says. I don't understand everything he says. After all these years and talking to him, the man's a genius. That's all I got to say. And I'm told I'm a genius too, but not really. You find people that are even better and smarter than you are and outsmart you when you ask them the questions. So please be civil to each other, be kind, realize you are all coming from different spaces. Some of you are devout, some of you may be evangelical Christian, you may be Catholic, you may be a non-believer. But please read these works and try to be objective in reading them. I will put some more fun works in here that are no less profound. In fact, there's a person that is a little bit the opposite of Russell T. McCutcheon. He's too complicated to have an opposite, but here I go. And that would be a person writing in a book, chapter called Coming to Terms, saying that students highly identify, especially at the high school level, by their belief systems. So you have to acknowledge them, not shut them down when they want to talk about it, and find ways to help them write about it. They cannot be dogmatic. They cannot be my way or the highway. They cannot call you as an altar call in the paper saying, please believe this. They can examine their own beliefs and make a case for them, case by case study. And my video is already too long. But I will tell you, I had a student from Afghanistan who lost his entire family in Afghanistan during a bombing. He was a devout Catholic. He also developed Lou Gehrig's disease during the semester of my class and would shake and sweat sometimes so much I would hand him a sticky note that says, go home, you're good. I will help you with what you miss. do not push yourself anymore. But his family wanted him to be the first one to graduate from college. Same time, being a devout Catholic, he was in favor of stem cell research. And he wanted to quote the Bible in favor or against stem cell research. And I said, it's not there. You're not going to find it. Quote the popes in your Catholic Church and their documents and what they say about it. And at the end of the course, he disagreed with the popes, but decided to stay within his church. He did not lose his religion, in other words, but he examined his religion. And I think it was a powerful thing for him to find there may be something I disagree with, but you know what? In the big picture, this is my heart and this is my belief. And you can do that as a believer or a non-believer. And I appreciate everything everybody is doing. This is a dynamite classroom. I'm going to have to ask you all for permission with the permission slips to use what you have written, because I think it's just amazing. And so this was a difficult week. I know that, but keep going. And I'll see you in the next video. I promise not to make it so long.